Good morning, listeners and video watchers across the oceans and continents of this wonderful world. This is the Country Boy Show, broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Washington, USA. I hope to get you motivated enough to get you off the couch and do something for yourself. I am Steve Allen, host of the Country Boy Show, and I will be right back, so don't you move. Good morning, I'm glad you hung around. Today's program starts with this thought from Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. I just finished reading a book entitled Christianity and the Constitution, The Faith of Our Founding Fathers by John Edswo, written in 1987. John has quite a resume. A law degree from the University of Iowa, political science degree from St. Olaf College, a doctorate of ministries from Oral Roberts University, and many other degrees. In 1981 through 1986, he taught constitutional law and legal history at O.W. Coburn School of Law. You can order this book from Amazon. I bought it used, and if I remember right, it was about $3.99. And so you can see it's in pretty darn good shape. This book contains about 400 pages. We've been talking about the ways of success. As you look around the world, you can only see one nation that stands out. Just look at the situation we have with immigration through the years. Why do so many people want to come to the United States of America? Why do we have the best living conditions in the world? I hear of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. That is a natural thing. When you learn to make money, you don't have to learn it day after day. Most people in the world have not found out how to make money. They just make a living. The average person lives from paycheck to paycheck. Some live outside their means, but at least in America, we can progress. This is totally up to the individual. What makes this possible? Freedom. Why did some 230 years ago this continent have people from England and other European countries risk their lives on the high seas, not even knowing for sure if a land existed? For religious freedoms. Why was there a war with England? Religious freedoms. Why was there a civil war on the American soil and a World War I and II and other wars? Religious freedoms. Why are there wars in other lands today? Religious freedoms. Man came to America to have the right to worship according to his own conscience. Taking from chapter 1 of Christianity and the Constitution, quote, although many colonists came empty-handed, they did not come empty-minded. They brought with them the heritage, the culture, and ideas from the lands of their birth. In forming a new nation and developing its constitution the following century, the delegates of the 1787 convention did not intend to put into practice new and untried ideas. The framers of the American Constitution based their political concepts on the tried and tested ideas of the past. These men were intelligent, well-educated, and widely read. They combined the best ideas they read about to establish a government for the United States, unquote. The founders under the Constitution and Declaration of Independence, with the Bible being their guide, the Pilgrims left England because they believed the Church of England was worldly and corrupt. The Church of England was a state church and had wandered away from the Bible teachings. The Calvinists believed civil government is ordained and established by God. The Puritans agreed with the Pilgrims that the Church of England was worldly and corrupt and joined with the Pilgrims in some respects, but believed they could purify the church. They supported a state church, but not the Church of England. Education was placed in high regard and was widespread in New England. Massachusetts passed a law requiring parents to make sure their children knew how to read and write. In 1647, Massachusetts enacted the famous Old Deluder Satan Law, which established common schools to teach reading. They believed that uneducated children was Satan's way of keeping children from learning the way of God. The New England Primer was widely circulated with children that clearly taught sin and salvation, law, and gospel. Let's stop for a minute and ask ourselves, what has this got to do with my success? Okay, we have two groups of people settling the new world. Each agree about some ideas on how to make a perfect world, but they also differ in other beliefs. They both agree that God sent them and that there is a God that controls the universe and rewards man for good and punishes them for bad behavior. Both the Calvinists, the Pilgrims, and Puritans believed in the sacredness of all vocations and stressed the virtue of hard and honest work. These teachings provided a basis for American prosperity and the free enterprise system. Poor Richard says, "A life of leisure and a life of laziness are two different things. Do you imagine that sloth will afford you more comfort than labor? No, for trouble springs from idleness, and grievous toil from needless ease." In summarizing the Founding Fathers' thoughts, if a man wants something in life, he has to work for it. I have found nothing so far in my life that provides a living for someone that does not want to work for it. It appears that even God required work and obedience to his laws if man wants something after this life. Have you ever heard of John Jay? Of course, you have heard of Benjamin Franklin and George Washington, but for me personally, John Jay's name never came up in my 16 years of education. It was not until I purchased Christianity and the Constitution did I hear about Jay and others that helped build this nation. For your information, this book can be bought through Amazon and materials documented in footnotes. Each of you need to purchase this book since I will touch only briefly on the content. John Jay, let me wet my whistle again here. John Jay was called the father of American conservatism. At age 29, he was the youngest delegate to the 1774 Continental Congress. He was said to possess both sound judgment and wisdom. He was selected to prepare a draft of the United States address which asked Great Britain for redress of grievances. Jay supported the War of Independence, although his conservative nature hoped for reconciliation with England until about 1778. He served as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of New York during the war. Jay, along with Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, wrote the Federalist Papers, which explained the principles of the Constitution and were instrumental in securing the ratification of the Constitution. President George Washington appointed Jay the first Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He stood for the people and the states. From 1795 to 1801, Jay was governor of New York. He was recognized for his honesty, his refusal to appoint or dismiss officials because of political affiliation, and his devotion to his duties. He sought revision of the criminal law to eliminate the death penalty for anyone but major crimes, human treatment of prisoners, abolishment of slavery, and an act to prevent the profanity on the Sabbath. Now that is interesting. Wonder about the other days of the week. Jay's belief was that America was part of God's plan and America must forsake vice and trust in God. He believed that independence was part of God's plan. The gospel was to be taught and lived if America was going to succeed. He felt that God had placed him in America at this time to be an instrument in the success and future of freedom. A letter he wrote to his wife when he was called to be parted from his family and wife for a long time. Excuse me there. How do you like my mug? This is from California. Anyway, let's get back to the story. A letter he wrote to his wife when he was called to be parted from his family and wife for a long time. If it should please God to make me an instrument to the continuation of peace and in preventing the fusion of blood and other evils and miseries incident to war, we shall both have reason to rejoice. Whatever may be the event, the endeavor will be virtuous and consequently consolatory. Let us repose unlimited trust in our Maker. It is our business to adore and to obey. To my love to the children, John Jay. Life of John Jay, page 311. Talking about children, Christmas is just around the corner, and I have a few porcelain dolls from my wife's collection that she said she wants to get rid of. And she asked me to put them out here and see if any of you might be interested in them. This one here, this little boy here, he's got a little teddy bear hiding back here behind him. This is from the, I can't read with these glasses on. This is from the Danbury Mint Porcelain Collector Doll Selection. 1993. And this other little guy over here, let's see here. My first issue in the I Want My Mommy collection by Kathy Berry, Hispent Steel, the artist, 1992, the Ashton Drake Gallery. Anyway, if any of you are interested in these cute little dolls, maybe for Christmas or for your grandkids or just to have them on your shelf, go to our website, sundogfilmproductions.com. Go to the purchase page. And these dolls, plus there's 2 or 3 others we got. I will have these on there, and you can pick those up for $19.95 plus shipping and handling. So check out our country store when you go to sundogfilmproductions.com. Okay, let's back to the story. Success is never easy. Are you having trouble in your life and need a boost? Our goal is to teach each of you ways that you can succeed whether it be in your home life, business, or financial life, marriage, religious thoughts, or if you have no trouble in your life, maybe you can pass on their address of our blog and site to help others that don't have a perfect life. Over the next how many years, we will have interviews of men and women that have been successful. Some are successful in business, making money, and failures in family. Some have a great family and never seem to be able to get ahead financially. Others have chosen not to have a family. The other night at the Blazer game that I attended, I ran into an old friend I met last year. He's got quite a story, and we set up a time that we're going to get together in the very near future. He's a young man. I think he's about 32. He grew up in the bad parts of L.A. He was a foster child, moved from family to family to family. But he knew something had to happen in his life because trouble just came to keep following him. He really wanted something in life. Anyway, he is now a motivational speaker. He just published, the other night he came to me and he was so thrilled because he says his publisher just published his book. I haven't got it. We'll get that for you. And also, he says he's been invited to talk on a talk show. Well, we talked last year about this, and anyway, I invited him to come and come on this show, the Country Boy Show, and he agreed. So one of these first days, we're going to have him here on the Country Boy Show with us, and he's got a very interesting life. Also, he's got a friend that they call themselves brothers because they bounced around to these foster homes and they seem to stay close to each other. He's the guy that spins the records, the music, for the Blazers throughout their whole evening of the game. You know, all that sound-busting music that keeps you up on your toes, those NBA basketball games. He's the one that spins the records for that. And I talked to him about in his story, so we'll probably have that in the very near future. Okay, I know some of you do not believe in this man called Jesus Christ. Isn't it great to live in a land of freedom that we at least can have our own opinion? John Jay had a hand in framing the Constitution of the United States, as well as being an influence in making the United States of America the best land in the world. So what drove John Jay to be the man he was, and what did he base his beliefs on? Okay, quoting from Christianity and the Constitution, page 168, quote, Jay believed the Bible. He knew every word of it to be completely and literally true. His immense faith buoyed him up in every misfortune. His quiet pity and radiant serenity impressed themselves upon all his children. When Peter Augustus, his eldest son, died in 1843, he likewise admonished his children in these last words, My children, read the Bible and believe it. This is in John Jay on page 428. But what does all this have to do with your success? It has a lot to do with your success. Without freedom of nation, individuals like me and you are limited in what we can say and where we can go. History has proven this. Wars have been fought with many lives taken for freedom. It is the most precious commodity we have. Freedom should not have to have labels like you can do this and that. Control of others is easy and so slowly accomplished. But when freedom is gone, it takes bloodshed to get it back. Taking someone else's freedom away makes me feel powerful. and power leads to dictatorship, and dictatorship is opposite of the rights and freedom that God has given each of us. Some of you may not believe in God, but please don't take that privilege away from me and others. Some of us like Christmas and what it stands for. We respect your beliefs, so please respect ours. Success depends on all men being free, not just a few individuals. Please go to your public library or places like Amazon, select a book and read it. Turn off your TV for one evening a week and read a book. It is good for you, and in the meantime, have a good day. I want to have you check out our blog at profileofwinners.com on WordPress. You can find all these links from our site at sundogfilmproductions.com. We have a page directly, so all you can go there, and it tells a little bit about each of the sites, and the immediate click will send you there. Sundog Film Productions is the parent company where you can find lots of interesting things like clips from our fishing movies and videos we've taken over the past many years. You might want to check out monster clams. This was a spur-of-the-moment shot we'd take. Milt Gudgel, owner of Pacific Salmon Charters in Alwaco, Washington. We've been over there doing some shooting for him, and one day I was over there and he says, "Steve, have you ever been clamming?" I says, "I sure hadn't." He says, "Grab your camera, let's go." So anyway, I'm sure you'll love that, because we've got like 3,300,000 and some odd thousand hits on that little video. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it, because 3,300,000 plus clicks, and the Google statistics show they watch it almost all the way through, which is, it's about 10 minutes long. So anyway, go to our website and you're going to find all these things. Please email me so I can send you updates before they happen at countryboy@sundogfilmproductions.com. So let me say that again. Email me at countryboy@sundogfilmproductions.com. Just to let you know, the audio end of this video is going to be airing on iTunes. So what I'm saying here is, so all of you can, if you want to travel to work in the mornings or go out and do some jogging or running, you can pick up on your phones, go to iTunes, it's free, and listen to this same show with audio only. Anyway, until we meet again, this is the Country Boy signing off for at least a few moments or two. I will be back very soon. You have a great day and a wonderful holiday. I am gone.